So I thought it might be fun to kind of share my latest personal project. So this is a completely scratch design that I did in SolidWorks. It's got a plywood base and a center plywood former going down the center, and then pretty much everything else is 3D printed. Using a set of rollerblade wheels to start, but this is a rocket powered RC car. So I have a redundant system for igniting the rocket motors. Back here is the leads that will power the igniter. This is the rocket motor tube, 29mm motor mount. This part here is part of an ejection system for a piston, or a piston ejection parachute system that I have. And I'll show that in a second. 3D printed, 3D printed, 3D printed. So I have my FrSky X-Lite with the Crossfire module. So it's a 900 megahertz long range radio. That's going to be the primary one for control of this thing. So it has steering set up there, and it also has the parachute deployment. Before I get to that, I'll say that I have this Spektrum radio, which is part of that redundant ignition system. So there are 2 servos with toggle switches inside there in series with power that run to the igniter in the back. So it requires both radios to be in an ignition mode in order to send power to the igniter. So it's basically just a safety thing. So even if one servo or one radio system starts glitching out, it won't light when I'm not expecting it. So the requirement is that that one is forward on the long range radio, and then I'm gonna have someone else on this radio, which is it's still good to at least a quarter mile, but I'll call it the shorter range radio, the Spektrum one. So it requires someone else to be full throttle on this radio. So now those alligator clips are live and it should be racing off, but other than that, it won't light. And then show off the parachute, which is actually the hardest part to design on this thing. So I have it on this switch here. So brake on the left, parachute, and then on the right is the arming switch or ignition switch for the rocket. So here's the deployment. So it sends out this sort of piston type thing, spring loaded obviously, and then, you know, once it has airspeed, this parachute will unfurl and help slow the thing down because it has no brakes otherwise. But that's it. It's basically completely ready to go for its first rocket powered flight. I suspect that it's going to be too bouncy without suspension, even though it's got a good amount of weight to it. It's about 10 pounds. I just think that once it gets over a certain speed, it's going to be too bouncy unless I can get to a paved area to run it, but it's going to take up too much space. So I'm planning on running it in dry lake bed. But I'll definitely have videos of that when I do it.